welcome to BACD's Pivot Profile with Cameron Osborne, owner of the Osborne Academy of Acrobatics. Stay tuned as we talk to Cameron about how he's been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic and also what he's been able to do to hopefully pivot his business and, create some semblance of normalcy for his clients. Also, he'll talk a little bit about the protocols as he starts to reopen. Thank you for listening, and please subscribe to our channel.
There's a club in Mississauga that we kind of took the lead on, Futures Gymnastics. Lorraine Curry there led. It's an online platform called My Gym Online, and invited a lot of other clubs through that. So it's also a huge library for some resources outside of just Zoom classes that you would offer within your club. So that's sort of how it started, and we did sort of our own thing away from the My Gym Online while still offering that to our clientele, just because we were developing an online registration software that we were trying to launch around this time anyways, so we incorporated that into this.
So it's been part of your plan anyway to have some sort of virtual services / membership?
Well, no, more so just a platform of registration, not an online platform, but just the registration process we were already investing a lot of time and money into. So we wanted to push that.
Okay.
And it's been, at first it was a way to sort of offer our current membership, a way to stay engaged with the club. We had to end one of our sessions early, and so that was another way of sort of, and initially we sort of asked everyone to sort of be patient, and we'd apply a credit to the account depending on when we'd be able to start up, not knowing when exactly we'd be able to open again. So this was one way to sort of give some type of services to our customers. So it's a mixture of some fundamental gymnastics stuff, but mainly it's fitness programming. There are some things that you can do stationary, but for the most part, it's fitness conditioning.
Fitness moving, right? I'd love to tell people watching or listening a little bit more about Ontario Acrobatics Academy. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about kind of the services that you do offer?
Online currently, or just in general?
Both.
Okay.
Online and in person for when we can open again.
Okay, sure. We offer programming as young as walking age, so parent and taught. My son, for instance, who's just 2, he does a parent taught class with me on the weekends. And so that's a class that you would go in with a parent or guardian, and then all the way up to adults. We have, at one point, we had 4 grandparents in our adult classes that still competed. So we have like a competitive adult program with a few keeners in that program. So in terms of age and ability, there's a huge gap, or a huge opportunity for clients there.
And what type of, I don't know. So it says acrobatics. Does that mean you're flying through the air, or what is it?
So acrobatics, we essentially, our club motto encompasses anything that's excitement and movement. So we do some trampoline classes, we do tumbling, we do general gymnastics. So we don't have an international standard beam or bars, but we have a lot of training aids that you would use at a younger age in gymnastics. So an introduction to gymnastics. So the gymnastics piece is 8 years and younger. Everything else is sort of encompassing all ages, but we also offer some acrobatics, so circus, so aerial silks. So this is apparatus that are hanging from the ceiling. A lot of climbing.
Okay, cool.
Involved there. So that's one sort of apparatus that we're not sure when we can open up, because there's no particular sports federation for aerial silks. There's sort of with some of the aerial events, but we're unsure of when we can offer those programs again. But we have some fitness programming as well, and we also run events.
What does it mean? What does the some programming mean for fitness?
Well, right now we offer a couple of adult fitness classes. So again, just encompassing things, excitement of movement. So we do sometimes use the apparatus in the gym because it's different than a normal workout, but for the most part, it's a muscle mix, different fitness type of classes. Yeah.
Very cool. So of course your business was impacted because it was right before March break. I would imagine you would have been sold out with camps and classes.
Sure. So we had to, well, we chose to cancel the camp. Some other clubs tried to run, I think sort of in the middle of March break, we were sort of told that we had to stop, but a lot of gyms closed just before March break. And we felt that was the responsible thing to do. So we canceled camp and we ran all of our programming up until that Saturday, I believe, just before March break. And it was in the middle of March break that we were told that we kind of had to phase programmings and close permanently until further notice. So, I mean, the impact that it gave on the business, our revenue went to absolutely nothing. And then we had, we have credits because we were running sessions throughout the year. So a lot of customers still had credit to their account because our session didn't quite end. Right. It was also sort of a low point in terms of cash flow of the business because it's when a session is ending and a new session is starting. So we're generally getting registrations for our next session. So it was a time normally when we depend on new registrations as well. So that was very unfortunate. In terms of the competitive program, we actually just finished running an event at Durham College the previous weekend. So we're very lucky because all events were canceled the following weekend. So we were able to run our event still. Just knowing other people in the business that are running events, they're in a difficult situation because you have huge overhead for running an event and having to not have the ability to refund customers that come to the event and things like that.
Right, which is a problem, right? And financially difficult. So how have you been able to pivot your business so that you have been able to run in some shape or form?
So it's been a big change. At first, we were kind of coming up with different ideas of what we could offer online. Fortunately, our sports federation, Gymnastics Ontario, extended their insurance policy to current members, so we could do sort of virtual online fitness. Mm-hmm. Gymnastics-based fitness lessons is essentially what the wording was. But originally, we were seeking additional insurance for this, just because that's not a sanctioned activity. It was a great way to sort of keep everyone engaged, and a lot of the older athletes, especially, fitness is a big part of keeping in the gym and keeping active. Additionally, we've just tried to keep our clients engaged, just enhancing all of our social media outreaches, trying to get people involved with different contests and activities online. Our biggest hope is just to kind of hold on to keep everyone engaged to the club when we are able to open. But this online platform has allowed us to extend sort of the session that had to cut early, and also potentially some new revenue while we wait further instructions.
Right. What do you think that you will do differently as you go forward?
It's hard to say. I mean, our phase one of bringing competitive athletes back in the gym, it's completely different. So, our protocol and framework is just, trying to follow social distancing and cleaning procedures as best we can. This adds a lot of time, manpower, and expenses to the general operation. We're also only running, say, one program per day, and only up to 8 athletes at a time. So that's not a stable model. So, moving forward, we're hoping that the guidelines will be clear, and, we can also develop our protocol with safeguarding the athletes and ensuring that we're keeping our staff and the athletes safe.
Of course, that's the best that you can do, right? Will you be able to continue to deliver any programming online?
So we're going to offer the online recreational programming until at least the end of June, which is what we're hoping will be the next instructions for the next phase within our sports governing body, whatever we're sort of instructed that we can or cannot do. It's going pretty well. I think this is the second week that we're doing it, and we're getting a lot of interest. A lot of current clients are taking advantage of doing multiple classes, and it's a great way to connect to the coaches that they had as well.
Right. Makes sense, right? And somehow it keeps you top of mind with your customers so they don't drop off. So other questions I have for you. How long have you been operating now?
So I started the gym in the fall of 2014, September 2014, and we subletted a cheerleading club,
Yeah.
ironically just next door to where we are now. We looked for spaces for a long time, and a mixture of zoning, ceiling height, and a few other factors. It was really hard to find something. And so we kind of knew the person that was leaving the unit next to where we were subletting. So we moved into the unit we are in now, and that was in the fall of 2018. So about a year and a half ago, we've been in this space. So
Where are
it's
you
been
located?
sorry?
Where are you located?
We're located just beside the GO station in Pickering, so
Oh,
Liverpool and Liverpool and Bailey
yeah,
area.
that's a good location for sure.
We have a lot of competitive athletes that take the GO station, so that's certainly been a convenient factor to be so close. The East Overflow parking actually sort of connects with the buildings here, so it's pretty very accessible from the GO station.
Very cool. Very cool. And I know I asked you that you're going to be how your business will be impacted by the COVID pandemic, and you mentioned as well how you will go forward and kind of offer more programming. Do you see there being a way for you to offer more and more virtual opportunities as well?
I'm seeing that, given some of the people's hesitation coming back, I think definitely this will be a good transition tool if at the very least, offering some online classes as well as some in-gym classes. I believe into the fall, this could be a platform that we could continue to have. I think for a lot of people, it's quite convenient to have in their homes and be able to, just the convenience of being able to turn on their laptop or their phone and being able to do the class indoors. It certainly restricts them in what kind of activities they can do, but if they're interested in, a strictly fitness programming, I think this is a platform we could definitely continue to offer.
I see it certainly for some businesses as an opportunity to offer other revenue. And I think people will be a little bit more hesitant to go out, unfortunately. So this is a great way to kind of like bridge that gap
I
for
think
customers.
the outreach as well. I mean, you're limited in a certain sense of how far your outreach can go. Typically, people will travel up to sort of a 10 kilometers within your location for recreation is sort of a general rule of thumb. But if we're able to offer this and include it in our insurance policy, I believe that their outreach would be quite greater than that.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of opportunity when you look to the global picture.
Sure. Yeah.
So that's great. Cameron, when you start to reopen and go back to offering services, how are you going to be able to follow the protocols and the cleaning protocols and everything that you need to keep your customers safe?
In terms of social distancing, we're quite unique in the sense that our apparatus that the athletes are on are actually already distanced apart.
Okay.
So the trampolines are well over 2 meters apart when athletes are jumping. The tumbling apparatus, I've added sort of social distancing cue boxes behind, so when they're waiting, they're all 2 meters behind each other. And then our aerials, the apparatus that hang from the ceiling, they're all more than 2 meters apart. And then I've just designing some circuits for our general gymnastics to make sure they're sort of the same idea in a circle, all 2 meters apart, where the coach can view the athletes. So we're unique in that sense that it would be quite easy incorporating within the gym.
Right.
In terms of cleaning protocol, we've just researching sort of best tools for. We've looked into disinfectant foggers for all the apparatus in the gym rather than wiping down all of the mats and things. This is just a way to sort of accelerate this process overnight.
Right.
just because we do have some concerns as well, just making sure both with making sure the chemicals are safe for the materials on the mats and the equipment, but also in terms of settling into the mats and breathing it in, stuff like that,
Right.
under well ventilation. We're lucky as well that we'll have the garage doors open. There'll be quite a bit of ventilation while we're doing the apparatus. That does help, having some fresh air from the outside. And then routine hand washing, sanitizing, and disinfecting in the bathrooms and the common areas. So we only have one door into the gym, and then everything else is open space, and we have the 2 bathrooms. It will be quite easy to routinely go through this cleaning process.
Right.
And then the other protocol that we're putting in place with this phase 1 is that everyone will be coming in one by one, going to the bathroom, changing, washing their hands, putting all of their personal belongings in a backpack, hanging the backpack up so it sort of stays separate from everything else. And then everyone will be exiting out the back door, and we have sort of like a go station kiss and ride area where the cars will line up in front of a pylon. And it seems a bit extreme, but that's sort of one of the suggestions from the Federation, is to have a different entrance and exit, and having queue lines sort of as you come in, but also as you leave. So we're going to try and follow that as best we can.
Good for you. It's good. It's good to hear. It makes people feel a little bit more comfortable, right? In terms of like, what can they experience? And you might actually even want to take a video and walk people through what it's going to look like. That's
the next step, is we're sort of taking pictures and things. There's a few projects going on in the gym that we've taken advantage of because it's been empty, but we're working on all of the queue lines that we'll be setting up, and just finding the best way to sort of organize the classes with this new protocol, and then we'll be sharing all of the videos and pictures within the gym, so it puts people's minds at ease as well, what our protocol is.
Yeah. I mean, you're not alone in this whole system of trying to start reopening and, trying to figure out your customers and your new employees and trying to keep everybody safe. So definitely you're doing the right things. It's right. Following your federation is very important, because at least they've done some of the heavy lifting where they've put together, these are the steps you need to go through, and they've helped you in that instance. And now you have to do the implementation, but it's going to be business not as usual, that's for sure, for many of our businesses.
I'm not quite sure too. We started a performance team. We were going to do like busker festivals and shows outside, and I just invested in a pretty expensive apparatus so we can do the aerials outside. So it's a huge swing set looking frame, so we can do it outside. So we were looking to launch that this summer. So we're sort of brainstorming in ways we can do that virtually, or possibly in a space that is safe to do, just because a lot of these fairs and things we're going to be part of are all being canceled. Markham Fair is one that we've actually done in the last couple of years, and they've canceled for the first time in 176 years. They've closed the Markham Fair. So that was pretty big news. And that was one venue that we've looked forward to doing every year, and this year to expand from that. But that's another sort of avenue that we're exploring, is ways that we can do this, performing for trampoline and aerials virtually. That'll be interesting, but we're working on it.
I have a client of mine that actually does a lot of live streaming and filming these kinds of events.
Okay.
Sporting and federation kind of events, because they have the proper cameras, because this is the problem, right? With the camera you and I are using now, you'll be able to see what's happening up at the top and down at the bottom and to the left and the right. So they have that equipment, to all the wide angle equipment that they need to be able to do that.
I think that's even another point internally. We have a viewing gallery that I'm having to remove majority of the chairs, just because we're restricted to how many people we can have in our lobby as well. But that could be an avenue as well, just in terms of general viewing. A lot of people, if they're not able to see in the lobby and watch, is there a way they can watch the practice virtually as well? So I think that's something that will be really important as we roll out some of these new protocols.
Very true. Very true. Cameron, thank you so much for your time. It was great to get a chance to talk with you. I know that you worked with BACD way back when I was still joining. I think that was like 2012, 2013. So
it was when the gym was still just an idea. Yeah.
It's great to see how it's morphed into something like it is today. And I really wish you a lot of success. As we just get through this challenging time, I would imagine this is one of the biggest challenges most of our businesses have ever had to face.
Yes, we are definitely all in this together. I think,
Yes.
Thank you very much for the kind words.